Hey, what's up, everybody? Media 44 coming to another video. Alright, so I just got through listening to my Laker. I'll say it was a rant, but I didn't call it a rant because I wasn't really upset. I was just going into my Laker pride versus the Celtics. But, yeah, man, chilling right now, enjoying myself on this wonderful Monday morning. And I'm just thinking about making some content for you guys in general, speaking about how I misspeak sometimes. You got to play Scrabble with me sometimes. Sometimes I'll say the wrong word in place of a word, and it's because I have two words in mind and might actually say the wrong one. It's weird how that goes sometimes. I used to do that when I was freestyle sometimes too. It's like, I'll say the word that doesn't rhyme, but would be the word that means the same thing as the word that rhymes. It's just a weird mistake that I would make. If you ever heard Method Man rap, he would say something like, you get the scissor, for example, and he meant to say you get cut. And whatever the word that he meant to say rhymed with the word cut, like that kind of thing. So, yeah, I make that mistake a lot. So I wanted people to understand that I understand certain definitions of words that I misspeak on. Like, for example, I said Larry Bird and Magic Johnson didn't inherit the Celtics Laker beef. They did inherit the Celtics Laker beef. I understand the word inherit. I just misspoke. But that's the thing. It's like I've found myself misspeaking a lot in this camera, and it throws the entire meaning off of certain things that I may say. Just a deficiency of the brain, to be honest with you, I think. But I speak as fast as I can, but the mind moves a lot faster. And I'm looking at a lot of different things at the same time. And sometimes I'm really high, smoking weed. So that doesn't help, I don't think, as well. But I don't want to blame it on that. If anything, it's just me. It's just me being myself. And the English language being something that I understand very deeply, but didn't go to school to learn. Learned on the fly. So if I misspeak, maybe I can blame that. I don't know. But I think I understand definitions a lot better than my misspeaking will allow me to appear to. So that's one thing that I can honestly say. And so on and so forth. So that's really it. I didn't really have much else to say other than, you got to play Scrabble with me. Because sometimes you'll be like, did you mean to say the other word? Yeah, a lot of times I did. A whole lot of the time. And I do that mistake at least twice a video, it seems. But I've always been that way. I just speak fast and think fast. And sometimes I'll get it wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I'll just get it wrong. I think that's part of being a human being. But we normalize mistakes over here. We normalize correcting them too and owning them, and etc. And I never get on here and say, yo, I accidentally said. So you're just going to have to trust me when I say I understand certain things that it may sound like I don't when I say the wrong word as I speak. But I'm not insecure about it at this point, I don't think I ever was, to be honest with you. It's just one of those situations where you hear it and you're like, damn, that is not what I meant. They're going to look at me and they're going to be like, whoa, what the hell is going on with that guy? But that's just, it is what it is. And another thing about it is, there's no script. There's no script. So it's like, and there's no one here to say, hey, yo, did you mean something else? So it's like, obviously, if you were in the room, you'd be like, B, you meant to say, I'd be like, yes, that's what I meant to say. And then we'd continue speeding on. So that's probably what I need in the room with myself, is just someone to say, B, hey, fact check, such and such and such, not really. And then I would be like, you know what? Cool, amended thought, and then so on and so forth. So I just want people to know I'm smart enough to think that way. I just don't have that help in the room. So it is what it is. But I think I like doing it this way too, because it challenges my memory. I'll give you a roundabout number, but the reality is I have a trash memory, so I can look at a number 5 minutes later and forget it. So that's one of the reasons why if you've ever heard me talk about my prayer list, that's one of the reasons why I've kept my prayer list and have added to the names on there. That's actually one of the dualities of the purpose. Is to challenge my memory every day. If I can remember 150 names, 200 names, it'll challenge my brain to continue to do that exercise. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the reasons why I do it, because I've never saw myself as somebody who had even a decent memory. It's actually below average. So for me, getting in these cameras and trying to remember everybody's stats, getting in these cameras and trying to absorb the fullness of what it is I want to say about these games, it's a challenge for me with the memory that I think is not very good. But it is what it is. You challenge yourself. So that's what I do. I try to make these videos happen without writing down any notes. So if my numbers are off, it's because there's no notes, and I don't have any extra, you know, devices around. So for me, it's like can't go to my laptop and just and so and so's doing this and this like most people do. I just don't have those things in this house. So it's like it challenges me to be a one take Jake analyst, so to speak, off memory, which I think a lot of people would be like, "Whoa, that's really cool." When in reality, it's like I'm forcing myself to do it because my memory is trash. So if I make mistakes, please believe that you should be applauding me for not making more. But nevertheless, there's a lot of confidence here, and I've been working on it, and I love it. I love doing it. And so moving forward with it, I'm just going to continue to try to put myself in a position to have a better memory, and then from there, get those devices and make sure that I can get myself the accuracy that I can deliver to you guys in regards to all these numbers and stats and stuff in this game of basketball that we respect very much. So yeah, that's what I wanted to give you guys, man. Just a little chat. Didn't really have too much on my mind. Didn't want to get back into the Lakers. I think I've talked enough about our roster and team and pride and all of that this morning. But I think it's winning time. You know, I don't think many times in the recent memory have we had so much to play for. And I think that's what it is. As a Laker fan, we haven't had so much to play for. We call ourselves contenders, but injuries have robbed us of so many opportunities to have meaningful basketball, and the style of play and different things like that have just robbed us of opportunities to be competitive enough to really have an opportunity like this. And usually when you are in the play-in tournament, at that point you got to turn on your desperation for winning and stuff like that. Maybe the last few weeks of the season you have a little bit of a fight, but never do I remember having a season where this far early into March you must have win, now mentality in every game. Because, it's like at this point the West is so, together, there's so much parity that the playoffs have already begun out here basically. Like, you can't see a regular season game that you don't see teams diving on the ground and setting hard picks and getting in scrums with each other, and you know what I mean? Every game matters so very much to the overall opportunity you have to get in the playoffs or not. And since the play-in tournament is in place, that adds a different competitive dynamic to it, which I really think helps. I really like that aspect of it because it provides more of those teams to have that desperation. A team like the Lakers at this point, we probably would have mailed it in by now. Stop being competitive, set players, not consider bringing Braun back, all these different things. The play-in tournament changes your trajectory entirely in regards to what you're looking at. And I think for the better. I really do. So I want to give the NBA credit for that, and I don't want them to get rid of that play-in tournament. But in the meantime, because it's in place, it gives you a lot of desire to watch your team. And as we're in this space as a Western Conference team, I don't know about other teams in this situation, but you're watching every game with a different level of intensity, a different level of focus. OKC, those guys over there, Utah, I know their fan bases are going crazy right now. New Orleans, they really are intent on watching this game. And I think when you have that dynamic in more of these cities, you're going to start seeing more diehard fans grow into loving teams again. I think that's what's going to end up happening, more regional support, because what you're going to see is more teams intent on seeing their teams winning despite being out of it, so to speak. The hope is there. Now even the teams in the back outside of the play-in tournament, the 11, 12, and 13 teams, if they go on a run, now they can fight to get in the play-in tournament. So it gives you just an overall intensity about loving the team itself and hoping that the team can grow and, seeing opportunities to get out of holes as opposed to just tanking and just not getting better. So I think the overall competition in that way, that has really helped. That pushed a really good button by entering that tournament into the situation. And I think over time they're going to see good devotion from fans in regards to, paying more attention to their teams. And so, that's good. Hopefully that can translate to players falling in love with those teams and not leaving those teams. Maybe that can translate. I think there's something to be said for fan devotion and players' devotion as well, and their willingness to take pay cuts or their willingness to play hard or play through injury or what have you. I think fan support has a lot to do with that, especially in small markets. So, these are things I'm just, brainstorming as I'm sitting here, considering how intent I am on this team and watching what we're doing and coming here with so much content on my channel just by default. I'm not even thinking about the content itself, just more so thinking about how much basketball has contributed to my overall life these days, and how much I've enjoyed it. Watching the Lakers ups and downs, and whatever comes with that, we'll just have to live with. So, yeah, man, that's what I wanted to get up here and say, man. Oftentimes I misspeak, especially when I'm speaking passionately, especially when I had something to smoke. But nevertheless, my focus is intent on helping the team win and contributing to what it is that they need to, you know, to kind of accomplish, which is winning a championship and keeping their focus on staying in the game with the Boston Celtics and not losing sight of what the overall game is for us, what our team is really about. And so that's what I wanted to say, man. It's not something where I sit up here and say I'm perfect or, you know, am oblivious to the fact that certain things I say don't necessarily make any damn sense based on words just simply not being placed properly in sentences. But nevertheless, we live with our flaws and we continue to communicate and grow. And that's what my example is about. So that's what I want to show. BDF44. Thank you all for watching. Out.